Exodus chapter 26. Hi, I'm Lydia, and I'm currently reading the entire Bible, chapter by chapter, day by day, until I get to the end of it. I started in James, got to Exodus chapter 34, and needed a break, 6 chapters before the end of the book, crazily enough. And so I jumped over to Joshua, which I've just finished reading. So it's a bit all over the place, but I'm getting back into the swing of things in the Pentateuch, being Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So feel free to join me here, there, or anywhere, and let's get right into it as we come to the end of this book. Exodus chapter 36. So Bezalel, Aholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Aholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given the ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled craftsmen who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left their work and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." Then Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp: "No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they already had was more than enough to do all the work. The tabernacle. All the skilled men among the workmen made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim worked into them by a skilled craftsman. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains together and did the same with the other 5. Then they made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and the same was done with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain. 50 loops on the end curtain with... I've even lost it. They also made 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then they made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the 2 sets of curtains together so that the tabernacle was a unit. They made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains into one set and the other 6 into another set. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. Then they made for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of hides of sea cows. They made upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. They made all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle and made 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, 1 under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames for the far end, that is, the west end of the tabernacle, and 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these 2 corners, the frames were double from the bottom all the way to the top and fitted into a single ring. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so that it extended from end to end at the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, and cherubim worked into it by a skilled craftsman. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them and cast their 4 silver bases. For the entrance to the tent, they made a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer, and they made 5 posts with hooks for them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their bands with gold, and made their 5 bases of bronze. Right. Thank you so much for joining me today and for reading the Bible with me and for pouring into your own relationship with God. This is great stuff and I'm very happy for you. I pray that God blesses you abundantly today and tomorrow in case I do not post, but I do plan on posting, so God willing, I will see you then. Aside from that, if you'd like to watch these videos in a clearer order or if you'd like to, go through a whole book, for example, you can do so by checking out my YouTube channel, which if you're on TikTok, if you click the link in my bio, it will take you there. Now, there are omnibus playlists with every chapter which I've covered, from the start of James to where I am now in Exodus, and then from the start of Joshua to the end of it. But also, there are playlists dedicated to each book of the Bible which I've covered. So, if you want to go into Revelation, I've done Revelation. If you want to do James, I've done James. If you want to do Exodus, maybe wait a couple days and then I'll be done with that too. So, that should hopefully keep you ticking over while I continue to film these videos diligently. I'm getting on with it, which is quite good. Usually I fall off and then I come back and then I fall off again. But pre-recording seems to be my best friend, considering I do this in French, Spanish and English. Little plug. If you can speak those languages though, I am not fluent. It's the goal, but it is not where I am just yet, and I'm okay. I hold my hands up and say that. So please be patient with me if you do read those, but I am trying my best, and as long as we're doing what we can to spread the gospel, that's all we can do. So, God bless you. Adios, I'll see you tomorrow.